Today we will discuss about the organizing a statistical survey. First of all, we will see about what is a statistical survey. Investigation about the characteristics of a given population by means of collecting data from a sample of that population and estimating their characteristics through the systematic use of statistical methodology. Therefore, if you are saying that as a statistical survey, what we are going to do is we are going to have an investigation about the characteristics of a given population. Now you know what is a population. In the previous session we have gone through these steps. Therefore, if it is a given population, if you need to investigate about the characteristics of that population, then to do that, what you have to, first of all, you have to collect the data. Therefore, you are going to collect the data and then from that sample of the population. Therefore, if it is a population, then you are identifying a sample and then for that sample you are collecting data, and then based on the data on the sample, what you are going to do is you are going to estimate the characteristics. Therefore, based on the sample data, here you are having the population data, you are having the population, and here you are having the sample. Here this is the sample data you are having. Therefore, for the sample you are collecting the data, and based on the sample then you are estimating their characteristics. And when you are going to estimate these characteristics, then it should be a systematic way. Therefore, the systematic way we are saying as the statistical methodology should be there. Therefore, this is how we are saying as a statistical. So therefore, if you need to identify or investigate about characteristic of a given population, then you have to collect the data for the sample, then you are going to estimate the characteristic throughout a systematic way. It means that using a statistical methodology. And if you move to the next one, now we will see how to plan a survey. Therefore, when we are going to do whatever a work, the first stage of that work is after identifying the planning stage. The most important stage of doing a survey is the planning of it. Therefore, once you have well planned your survey, then it would be really easy for the further analysis and further going of this survey. Therefore, well throughout plan is the most important element of survey. Therefore, if you are going to conduct a survey, the most important thing in that survey should be the well planning. Therefore, if we have well planned our survey, then it would be really easy for us for the collecting and the analyzing and the further on procedure. For the further procedures we can easily go for. Therefore, if we are having a process of collection of data, at this stage, it seems that the collection of data in the first step for statistical survey. When we discuss about what is a survey, it says that we are going to investigate about the underlying characteristic by how we have to first collect the data. Therefore, we have to plan how to collect the data. Therefore, in this stage, this would be considered as the first step for any statistical survey. Therefore, collection of data would be the first step for any statistical survey. But when you are going to collect the data, first of all, you must have an idea. Therefore, but in a well-planned survey, the first step is to examine the preliminaries of data collection. Therefore, as soon as you are asked to conduct a statistical survey, normally we are thinking that, okay, for whatever analysis, what we need is data. Therefore, to obtain data, what we have to do is we have to collect the data. If you are thinking like that, and if you are directly going to collect the data, then we will be end up with so many problems. It is because we have not planned, and still we do not know what we need to collect. What are the things that we do not need? What are the things that are not necessary for this survey? Therefore, first of all, we have to identify those things. Therefore, if it is a well-planned survey, then the first step is to examine the preliminaries of data collection. Therefore, first of all, we have to get an idea, and we have to examine the requirements of the data collection. It is what we are saying as the planning of survey. Therefore, starting from the very first step, we have to plan the survey. Okay, now we will see the basic elements of the survey. If you are asked to conduct a survey, then there are several elements for any given survey. Therefore, first of all, you must have the objective for your survey. For what purpose you are doing this survey? Therefore, you should have a clear objective for any given survey. Then the next important thing is the scope of the survey. It means that what are the limitations of this survey. Therefore, we will discuss about these elements one by one. At that time, I will explain about what is meant by this scope of the survey. Therefore, up to that point, then we can say that this is, we can think it as the what are the limitations for any given survey. And then we have to identify what should be the statistical unit of the given survey, and what are the sources of data for a given survey, and then what is the sampling frame, and what is the method of data collection. Therefore, these are the basic elements of any given survey. Therefore, for a given survey, there should be an objective, there should be a scope, there should be a statistical unit, there should be source of data. It means you have to identify the source of data, and you have to identify the sampling frame, and you have to identify what is the method of data collection. It is because if you think about this point, you may know about several data collection methods. Therefore, each and every data collection method will not be appropriate for each and every survey. Therefore, for a given survey, there should be a specific method for data collection. Therefore, we have to pay our attention on all of these elements if we are going to conduct any survey. Okay, now we will discuss about these basic elements one by one. Okay, objective of the survey. Statistical investigation may be conducted to serve a general purpose or special purpose. Therefore, it is objective should be clearly defined. It means that if you are going to conduct a survey, first of all, you have to identify what is the purpose of this survey. Sometimes the purpose may be a general purpose, or sometimes it may be a special purpose. Therefore, first of all, you have to identify what is the objective of this survey. Normally in Sri Lanka, we are having the census surveys. Therefore, in that census survey, they are counting uh, the people in Sri Lanka. Therefore, they are going for each and every house in the area which covers the whole Sri Lanka, and then they are counting the number of citizens in, or number of people in Sri Lanka. Likewise, they may have a purpose, but for a special purpose. Now think about, if you need to identify or if you're going to examine the average income or average family income of a student of OLS University. It is your special purpose. It is not a general purpose. For a study, you need to identify the mean family income of a student in OLS University. Therefore, Since it is your special purpose, according to that purpose, you have to plan the survey. Now think about, if your idea is to get the mean family income of the student of ULS University, do you need to collect any data from students who are outside this ULS University? Definitely you do not need. Is because you just need to identify, or you just need to, it is to get the mean value for a the university student. Therefore there is no point of collecting data from uh, the students who are outside this university. Therefore it is a special purpose. Therefore that is why I told you that when you are going to conduct any survey, your objective should be clearly specified, and that is what I mentioned here. Otherwise you will be in the trouble. It is because you may not get the relevant data for your survey. Therefore when you are going to conduct a survey, the planning is important, because we have to conduct the survey with the minimum possible waste of time. There may be some waste of time, but it should be minimum, as well as minimum possible waste of money. Therefore money and time are the critical factors when we are going to conduct a survey. Therefore because of these things, not only those two things, time and the money, there may be several other reasons. Therefore because of these things we have to limit a survey. Therefore, but anyhow we have to cover our purpose throughout this survey. Now think about this scope of the survey. The scope of the survey should be decided with reference to the space, time, number of items to be covered. Therefore, in the previous slide also I told you that the survey must be properly conducted with the minimum possible waste of time and the money. Therefore, when we are going to conduct the survey, we have to pay our attention towards the time, as well as the space, as well as the money and number of items to be covered. Now think about, if you just need the 10 data points, if you are doing an experiment in the laboratory, and if you just need only the 10 data points, but without any planning you are obtaining 100 data points, it is just a waste of time and money only, as well as sometimes it may be chemicals. Therefore you are just wasting all these things. Therefore first of all we have to limit our survey. Based on the objective, we can limit the survey, we can have the limitations for our survey. Therefore it can be, it's said to be the scope of the survey. Therefore these are the limitations. Therefore these limitations are decided with reference to the space, time, money and the number of items which need to be covered for the survey. And the next element of a survey is the statistical limit. Then the investigation must determine units from which data have to be collected. Now think about, if you are going to measure the height of a student, then if once you are going to field, or if you are going to obtain these heights from students, then there would be a question whether you are measuring it from feet and inches, or whether you are taking this height using the centimeters or meters and centimeters. Therefore in such a way there would be so many problems. Therefore to avoid such a situation, what you have to do is, when you are going to plan a survey, you must define what is the statistical unit that you are going to measure these elements. Therefore, when you are going to collect the data, you have to collect the data based on the defined statistical unit. And the next basic element of a survey is the sources of data. When we are going to discuss about the sources of information or the sources of data, mainly we can have two major sources or two parts for the source of information. First part would be the primary data and the next one would be the secondary data. If the data is collected by a researcher from first-hand sources. Now think about, if you are getting if you need to get the uh, average family income, and then you are the person who are going to collect, or if you are hiring a person to collect these data, and it is the first hand sources, it means that you are going to the students and you are asking from them what is your family income. Therefore, then you are the person who is collecting data. Therefore, you are the person who is owning this data. Therefore, when you are collecting the data, you must be able to tell them what is the purpose of this collecting the data. Therefore, it is one important thing you have to keep in your mind when you are going to collect the data as the primary data. You have to clearly tell them what is the purpose of collecting and using of this data. And one another thing is, once you have mentioned a purpose, therefore thereafter you cannot use the same data for any other purposes without taking the permission from the people who are you are going from the people who are you are going to collect these data. Therefore, once you are going to collect the data for the first time, or the first hand from the first hand sources, then those should be considered as the primary data. And the next part that we can consider as the secondary data. Then this type of data can be gathered from studies, surveys, or experiments that have been run by other people, agency, or for other research. It is like this. Now think about, if I am conducting a research, and if I know that uh, somewhat a similar research, not the same research, then somewhat a similar research has already conducted, and I am thinking that those data would be also satisfied for my survey. Therefore, again, we do not need to identify those type of data. We are not going to go to the field and collect the same data again and again. Therefore, what we can do is, we can consider uh, such data as the secondary data, or else sometimes it may be collected by some other people, some other person, or some other agency for their specific purpose or for any general purpose. Therefore, if we are using such data, then it is said to be the secondary data. And one important thing for the secondary data is, if you are using the secondary data, first of all, you have to get the permission from them. Therefore, if you are using the data which are collected from any other person or agency, first of all, you have to get the permission before you are going to use those data for your survey. Therefore, this is what we are going to say as the secondary data. And the method of data collection. Okay, I will keep this part aside for a while, and I will discuss about the sampling frame first, and then we will discuss about this method of data collection. Okay, the sampling frame, a list of all units under a study, is known as the sampling frame. It is important to identify the units which constitute population for instance. Therefore, if we are going for a study, then list of all the units under a study is known as the sampling frame. Now we will discuss about the method of data collection. When we are going to discuss about the method of data collection, there will be so many methods, but these methods can be divided into two categories. Method of data collection, there are two categories. The first one is the census method, or we are saying this as the complete enumeration. Census method or the complete enumeration. And the next category is the sample method or the partial enumeration. When we are discussing about the terms in the last session, you learn about the population, and then you have learned about the sample. You have learned about the sample. Therefore, now think about, if your survey needs all the data points inside or all the elements inside this population for your investigation or for your survey, then such method is called as the census method or the complete enumeration. Therefore, if you go through this sentence, if all the units of the population, all the units of the population under the study are considered, then it is called as a census survey. In the Sri Lanka also, for each 4 years time period, there is a census survey. Is that they are counting the number of people living in Sri Lanka. Therefore, for every 4 years, 5 years time period, then they are having this census survey. And the another term for this census method is the complete enumeration. It means that we are considering all the units under a given population for our study. And the next part is the sample method, or we are saying as the partial enumeration. If only representative part of the population is studied and some representative units are selected, then it is called as the sample survey. It is like this. Now think about, if you are going to get an idea about the BMI, of the university student, then your population would be all the Sri Lankan university students. But with the limitations, what you have to do is you have to obtain a sample from this population. Therefore, what you are going to do is you are selecting only a set of students which covers this whole population. Therefore, in such a situation, we are saying such data collection method as a sample method is, and another term for this is the partial enumeration. Therefore, we are not going to completely pay our attention towards each and every element or each and every unit inside the population. We are just selecting set of units from this population and we are making a sample. Only for the units in the sample we are collecting data. Therefore, you are just using a part of the population. That is why we can say this as a partial enumeration. Therefore, when you are planning a survey, you have to pay your attention on this also, whether you are using a census method to collect the data or whether you are using this sample method to collect the data. Therefore, after defining what is the method of data collection, then you have to identify in which way you are going to collect the data. The what is the method that I am going to collect this, whether it is census or sample, then in which way I am going to collect the data. Therefore, if you are going to collect the data, then what you can do is you can use these methods. Therefore, you may use one of these methods for given survey. Therefore, these are 10 methods which I have identified, but these are not the only methods that we can use for the collection for data for any given statistical survey. The first method is questionnaires to be filled by respondents. Therefore, this is one popular method. It means that then you are printing a questionnaire, it means set of questions, and then you are asked or you are sending them, and you are asked from the respondents to fill it and give it to back. Therefore, this is the first method. And the next method is questionnaires to fill by the investigators. It is like this. Now you are preparing a questionnaire and then you are filling the this questionnaire based on the answers given by your observee. Therefore, questionnaire which you are the, if you are the investigator, you are filling the questionnaire and then respondents give their responses for filling this. And the third method is interview method. It can be have it as a direct interview or the indirect interview. Therefore, you are asking some questionnaires and just as a discussion, you will have the answers for the relevant questions or for the um, you are collecting the relevant data for your statistical survey. And then the fourth one is the focus group interviews. In here, we are not focusing any specific people in the society or in our area. We are generally identifying the people, and then we are scheduling these interviews. But in the focus group interviews, first of all, you have to identify the group of interviewers. Therefore, first of all, you are identifying for which group I am going to hold this interview. Therefore, then you have to focus on that group, and then you have to conduct your interview, and then using that you can collect the data. Now think about, if you are going to collect the data from the people who are at the age of 18 to 25, then focus group is the citizens in Sri Lanka who is having the age from 18 to 25. Therefore, it is the focus group for your study. But if you are having a person as these 10 years old, you are not going to interview that one. It is because it is not in your group. It is just a waste of time and money. And if there is any person who is around 40 to 50 years, there is no point of taking the data from such a person. It is because it is not the objective of your survey. And the next method is the telephone interviews. In here, what you can do is you can give a phone call. Uh, you can, first of all, you can identify set of numbers, telephone numbers. Then you can give a phone call for them, and you can ask set of questions. First of all, you have to tell you what you are going to do, that you are going to do a statistical survey, and you have to tell them what is the purpose. And after that, you can ask from them whether they are willing to give us this information. If they are okay to give the information, then you can conduct the interviews thereafter over the telephone. No need to go for the direct interview method. Then in this situation, you can cover a very large geographical area. But if you are scheduling the interviews, you cannot cover a very large geographical area. Now think about, if you need to get the data from a person from overseas, then definitely you can use this method. Telephone interviews would be one of the very good method for collecting data from such a person. It is because you cannot go to Russia, France, or whatever country, even for India, for having an interview for set of people, at least for 10 to 20 people. There is just a waste of time. But if you are going to do any survey in these days, due to this COVID-19 pandemic, definitely you cannot go for such countries. It is therefore, if there is such a situation, again, you can use these telephone interviews to collect the data. And the next method that you can use is the observation method. Therefore, now think about, if you need to identify what is the or what are the peak hours for a given junction, or how many vehicles passing a junction for a peak hours, and the normal time in a given day. What you can do is, you can go to the mentioned junction, and then you can denote that how many vehicles has passed the junction in the given 5 minutes or given 1 hour time period. That is how we are doing this observation method. And the next method is the experimental method. Experimental method is what we can do. We can schedule, we can do an experiment, and based on that experiment, you can have the observations, and those observations will be considered as the data points for your survey. And then next one is this case studies. Therefore, using a case study, you can collect the data. And then these are the other methods, diaries and portfolios. Therefore, using the diaries as well as using the portfolios, you can collect the data. Therefore, if you need to get some data in these two also, therefore definitely you have to, anyhow, if you are collecting any personal data, definitely you have to get the permission from the people who are owning those data. Therefore, without taking the permission, you cannot collect any data, personal data from a person. You can have the observation method. It is totally okay. It is because most of the time we are using this method to get the data once we are having a survey in a public places. Therefore, there is no need of having special permissions. You have to just wait and you have to just note down those observations. It means it may be a given time period. Hmm. Likewise, within the given time period, the number of occurrences like that, you can have it as your data points. And now we will see about the execution of a survey. When you are going to execute a survey, hmm, starting from the planning to until you are preparing your report, therefore you have to properly execute your survey. Therefore, when you are going to execute a survey, first of all you have to set up an administration team. First of all, this is the very important, this is one of the very important thing. If there is any administration matters, then without having an administration team, how you are going to solve it? Now think about, if you are going to survey inside a any company, then in that company, if you are going to do a survey, and for that company, if you are going to do the survey, then first of all you need to obtain money. Therefore, if you need to obtain money, then you have to identify a proper administrative person for that purpose. Therefore, otherwise what you can do is you can just go for and just you have to request money, then it will take some time. Therefore, you cannot complete your survey within the given limited time period. Therefore, the easiest way is just ask from I need a person from the finance division for the financial matters. And if you need to get any legal permissions, then from the legal section you can ask for a help for a any person there. Therefore, first of all you have to identify the administration team. After identifying the administration team, then what you can do is you can say them what you are going to do and what you need from them. Then it means that you must give them a clear idea regarding your survey. Then you can take the efficient service from them once you have clearly defined them about your survey, and if you introduce your survey for them clearly. And the next point is design of forms and questionnaires. Now think about, if you are going to collect the data from using some forms or using any questionnaire, then what you can do is you can design them properly. Therefore, there are methods of designing forms and questionnaires. Therefore, using an appropriate technique, you can design the forms and questionnaires. It means that sometimes you are not going to ask any personal information, and or else when you are organizing the questions in the questionnaire, there should be a proper way. Now think about, if you are asking, if you are not asking their name, you are just asking their age, and then next question you are asking how many children you are having, without informing whether they are married or not. You are just directly asking about the children, and then you may ask, the next question is whether you are married or not. Then the formation of the questions should not be like in that way. It should be, if there is age, then you can ask whether you are married or not. Then you can ask whether if you are married, then number of children you have. Likewise, you have to correctly design and you have to organize your forms and questions. And then if you are using these forms and questionnaires, then you must identify the investigators. It means that the field investigators. Therefore, after identifying the suitable field investigators, then you have to train them properly. Now think about, if you need to collect the data from all over Sri Lanka, then there are several ethnic groups in Sri Lanka. Therefore, sometimes when you are sending these investigators to area which they are not speaking Sinhala, then how they should be able to collect the data from the people living in that area. Otherwise, they are in the trouble, as well as you are in the trouble. It is because when you are selecting these investigators based on your objective of the study or the purpose of the study, you have to find out them. Therefore, when you are after finding them, you have to properly train them. If you are planning to collect, now think about as an example, if you are planning to collect the data from Jaffna, then your investigator should be able to at least speak Tamil language, at least understand the Tamil language, or else sometimes you may think that okay, English is okay, all the people know English, but once you are going to collect the data, you may go to some rural areas. Therefore, your investigators should be able to discuss with them in a proper manner, and then they should be able to collect the data. And the next important thing is of the training of the investigators is, now think about once you are going to field for collecting this data, then a person in the field may ask why you are collecting this data. If you are definitely, if you are collecting some data regarding their financial backgrounds, definitely they are asking why we are collecting this data. Therefore, that investigator should be able to explain them properly why they are collecting the data. Otherwise, if you are the person who is just planning this and you are just sending the investigators, then they do not know why they are collecting the data. Therefore, definitely you have to train your investigators properly. And the next thing is the supervision of field work. Sometimes you are not be able to go for the field works, therefore you are using investigators. Therefore, when you are using the investigators, definitely you have to supervise them. Sometimes they may be far away from your place, therefore at least you can give a phone call and you can ask them what is happening there, how's the day for them, whether there are any problems in that day. Likewise, you have to have a supervision, and then you can ask from how many data points you have obtained today, then how many non-responses were there, what is the response rate. Likewise, you can have a supervision of the field work of investigators. And the next thing is you have to follow up the non-responses. Sometimes once you have distributed the questionnaires, there may be some non-responses. It is because the people are not that much like to provide the answers for some paperwork. Therefore, there may be some non-responses. Therefore, in such a situation, what you can do is you can personally meet them and you can just have a chat with them or just have an interview with them, and then you can ask for the questions and you can then take their responses, and likewise you can fill out the forms. It is because you are facing for these problems once you are going to execute a survey. Okay, once you have completed up to this stage, then most of the time you have finished your data collection part complete. Therefore, if you have finished your data collection, then you have to process your data. It means that sometimes data may be not in the relevant format for you. Therefore, in such a situation, first of all, before starting for the analysis, you have to process this data. Sometimes there may be missing values. You have to take the decision whether you are considering this data sheet for, or this person's response for the analysis, or you are going to omit it. Likewise, by thinking about those cases, you have to process your data, and then the process data should be then considered for the analysis. And then once you have go through the analysis, then you have to prepare a report. It is the final purpose, or the ultimate goal of your survey is this. It is because if you have done a survey, then there should be a way to uh, disseminate this knowledge for the society. Therefore, the easiest way of disseminate this knowledge for the society and the people who are around us, then it is the easiest way is preparing of report, or else you can make a presentation and you can do it, or else you can publish it as an article. Likewise, you can execute the survey. Actually, these are the things that we need to pay our attention if we are going to plan or organize any survey. Therefore, thank you all of you